Beer and loading.
Welcome to Beer and Loathing Under Oath, the show where we pin down your favorite brewers and get down to the brass tacks about their beers. Could you please state for the record your names?
Yeah, I'm Keane.
I'm Kelly.
This is Kelly.
Keane and Kelly, welcome, thank you. Could you please state the business name we are sitting in?
Waldschänke Ciders.
Excellent. What are your current positions within the company?
Well, I'm more of a head sales manager, bar manager. I do things like this. So a lot of the times I'm pretty much doing everything I can to engage with guests and educate them about cider, while also scheduling our team and making the cider as well. Pretty much everything, actually, now that I think about it.
I'm Kelly.
I bartend. I'm a beautiful bartender, and I also run the social media, and I run the website, and I do a little bit of events with Keane. Yeah, do stuff like
So your
this.
list is slightly shorter?
Slightly shorter. I also provide cooking and cleaning services
Yes.
at home.
Well, Keane, Kelly, please raise your glass of apple juice. And do you solemnly swear to tell something mildly resembling a truthful statement today?
Absolutely.
All right. That's good enough for our lawyers.
That's good.
Now I really wish you had a lab on for that.
Good juice.
That's some good slipperage. Would you like to talk a little bit about some of the ciders that we are imbibing today?
Yeah, absolutely. Everything is unfiltered. We'll start there.
Okay.
We typically vary on carbonation volume. Go from a still cider to a very, very carbonated cider, kind of like a champagne. We like to kind of play with everything. So that being said, what you just took a sip of was Base Camp. That's the OG Swiss cider. Recently, a little clearer, just because we know we had to do a little bit of consistency with some of our batches, and some of those clarifying agents help with that.
Sure.
But then after that is Onyx, which is a blackberry dry. So you're gonna notice this one's actually a little bit more carbonated.
Spill this everywhere.
It's pretty,
It's a fresh batch,
Yeah.
so you get lots
It's very pretty.
of breweries.
Yeah. which is a
Oh yeah,
So
you
I
can
got
see a
that
little bit
sediment from the
of
fresh.
some sediment. That's always a good sign.
oh yeah. I mean, every so
Vitamins and minerals in there.
we didn't have to pasteurize anything, which currently we don't, but we are going into distribution later this year, so we will have to kind of figure that out. But for in-house, it's fun to have a little bit of that sediment, the apple goodness, as it were.
Yes, the ghosts of apples past.
Yeah.
So then this would be the North cider, I
Yes.
presume, based on the list I have.
Yeah, single hopped apricot.
Yes.
So typically speaking, we'll rotate the hops that we use in that every time. Just it's fun.
Keep it kind of an experimental.
Yeah, I mean it's
Fresh.
the name references the original neighborhood name. So we are now officially in Sunnyside or
Yes.
Sunny, but the North Side is the North Side. We had a lot of good regulars. Definitely make sure that we are.
Yeah.
But,
They keep you honest.
yeah, but yeah, it's a really cool reference to the neighborhood, and I don't know, it's experimental with that, so it's one of my favorites to make.
That's cool.
And then I think the final one actually
Yes.
is Emma Pineapple.
Yes, it is.
Which is soft from Foss, or juice from the barrel. Everything we do with these is essentially barrel fermentation. We pitch the yeast directly into the barrel, and we bulk up it out. We might lose a little bit doing that, but you know what? We don't care. It makes for a damn good cider.
You gotta work hard for
So-
quality sometimes, right?
Truly, we definitely don't. We use all real ingredients at that. So I mean, everything you're tasting right now is pineapple and coconut.
Okay.
And apple.
You used to work in beer, correct?
Yes.
Where did the beer touch you? Why did you abandon it so hard?
Where did it touch you, Keane?
I'll show you on the glass. No, I mean, it wasn't really about, I would say, abandoning beer. It was just a matter of, I knew I personally wanted to do something, I wanted my own business. So I feel like I had history with cider, and cider was arguably the reason I got into beer in the first place.
Okay.
Granted, when beer was first starting up, or at least that initial boom in like 2008, I'd say like that was really when it started ramping up. I wasn't going into an interview being like cider, so it's it's kind of there's a lot of stuff, a lot of information to learn, and I think that the beer industry managed to create it references pop culture, and I want to be a part of that. So really, when it came down to it, we were actually looking at maybe at one point at starting a brewery, but our partners, who are my parents, are in Toronto at the time, and they're like, hey man, cider's blowing up here and we're coming back to Denver. What do you think about just starting a cidery instead?
The Canadians are trendsetters from way back.
I mean, they're dropping cubes in their cider, man. Like, you know, it's not like ice cider.
Cubes?
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
okay.
You know, it's not like, I can't tell you how many times like working in beer where somebody's dropping ice into a beer or something and it's almost like taboo, you know, where
Yeah,
it's
just
like,
wanna slap their hands.
It's something I kind of noticed with like modern cider culture, at least what I wanted to kind of uphold was, this is it. This is when you can create the trends. You're creating what you want to create.
Yeah.
There's nothing dictating that. And I think with that, I was just like, all right, I'm opening a cidery.
Now, Kelly, this is the part where you are free to
Yeah.
say it was all
Yeah.
your idea.
It was.
Okay.
100%. I was like, yo, cider's where it's at. I've had so much of it. I know everything. I got this, guys.
Real cider expert.
Real cider expert. I get the benefit of learning as I go, which is kind of a nice perspective for Keane and our partners, his family, who are very knowledgeable about cider, and I get to be like, oh hey, I don't know that, so maybe let's figure out how the public or how the people we're trying to sell it to can be receptive of it, because if I don't know, then they won't know, so how do we tell them about
You're
it?
kind of the lens into
It's
the
been
customer a little bit.
Kind of cool.
That is cool.
The Denver Whisper.
The Denver Whisper, yes. The name Waldschänke, I'm
Yes.
sorry if I'm kind of butchering that,
No,
has a
spot on.
has a fairly deep meaning from like a cultural standpoint and your family standpoint. Does it ever kind of worry you that it sounds like a lighthearted name of a man who has a terrible shanking problem?
It's Wald.
I mean,
It's a little shaky.
It's a little shaky.
You know, yeah. I mean, it was kind of when developing this company, we probably thought of a million different names to call it Americanizing, call it just more approachable. I don't know. I mean, really, when it came down to it, is the reason why we're doing it is this. So, yeah, it was a bit of a risk, but at the same time, it wasn't really like, if I'm going to speak passionately about something and I'm going to have confidence behind it, then no, this is what it is.
Yeah.
And you know, it to a certain degree, you know, swing for the fences. You know, it might not work, it may work. And Waldschänke is a reference to the cidery my grandfather built in Romanshorn, Switzerland. The original was in a forest preserve right outside the town. I assumed it was a household name everywhere, really, growing up. But the translation, roughly is forest tavern.
Okay.
So Wald by itself is wood, and a shanky is like a tavern or a bar. Waldschänkes are everywhere. It's a really common thing. Just a wood tavern. It's basically like calling yourself tavern.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean,
Okay.
it's got a history behind it, you know, and specifically the softened foss and that cider or barrel fermentation base camp. You know, those are ciders that we basically, that's what inspired us.
Do hardcore cider fans exist, and are they as annoying as hardcore beer fans?
That's an excellent question. Yes, they exist. But at the same time, I would say they're few and far between. It's not really, I mean, and it's not even like a bad thing when someone comes in and they're just, I want to use the word like a purist or something, like, what, you're putting hops in cider? No one's saying that. I think it's just a matter of, I think, the hardcore cider drinkers are also cider makers.
Tell me something about one or any of these ciders that you think, if you just pulled some random schmuck off the streets of Denver, they would find interesting, or something they should know about these ciders.
They're better than hard seltzer. Is the first thing I'd say.
I like that already. That's a
If
start.
If you're drinking a seltzer, you may as well drink a dry cider, in my opinion. One of our biggest challenges as a company, especially cidery, is when everybody thinks cider is one note. It's like, it's sweet and I don't like it. It's just like, cool. No, you don't like There's a time and place for everything. So, I mean, it's kind of, when it comes to the big boom of like seltzer and everybody wanting to drink it, it's like, I saw a billboard recently that was like, not your average seltzer, fruit this, fruit that. I'm like, my God, I want to get a billboard, put it behind this and just say, just drink a cider already.
Yeah. Keane and Kelly, would you be willing to listen to a bunch of horrible cider names I've come up with and rank them on a scale of dog shit to good shit?
What's the middle?
There's no middle, it's dog shit
Like
or good
horse shit, or is it like?
If you want to go in the middle, you're welcome to. You're welcome to.
Okay.
Let's start with this one. Seedless sensuality.
I feel like a lot of Grey's Anatomy watchers might like that
Ooh.
one.
I am not a Grey's Anatomy watcher. I would not have
Yeah.
guessed that. That's good.
Say it one more time.
Seedless sensuality.
Look right into my eyes and say it one more time.
Seedless sensuality.
Oh my.
Thanks for coming by, Kelly.
Yep, yeah. I'm out.
This one would be a cider with thyme in it, pressed for time.
I like that.
That's a good one, because we have thought about using thyme.
Yes.
You really know how to cut to the core of me.
I like it.
What about ripcord?
Oh,
Like it.
ripcord, damn, yeah.
What about core values?
Oh, yeah.
It'd have to be really wholesome.
Did I say that?
Like
Batman and Bobbin for Apples. With for apples in
in parentheses,
parentheses.
Batman and Bob. Correct.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm into that. That's a good Halloween one or something.
Yeah, that is a good one because that's a Halloween
Oh,
activity.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Like we'll do like candy apple, but we'll use charcoal, so it'll be black.
Yeah. Apple Star Galactica.
Ooh,
I like it.
that is
I like
it. Yep. That's a.
I was proud. That was like the third one. I was really proud of that one.
I mean, I'm in. Never
then we-
had a choice.
Yeah, no. You've already said your father is one of your business partners.
Yes. Yes, but
How far did the apple, you, fall from the tree? And how many times do you guys make this joke in the last like 2-3 years and then laugh very robustly?
I think that we never ever said that to each
Really,
other.
I was kind of hoping that was
Yeah.
going to be the case.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna start saying that too.
I think that my father and I have always had a really good relationship. So as business partners, even in say some of the most stressful situations, like global pandemics and shit. I mean, my dad's been an entrepreneur his whole life. I think growing up, I got to see him run multiple businesses. And when it comes down to steering the ship and understanding how to really run a business, John is the dude. He really, teaches us a ton. He relies on us in a team format. We're just a good team.
Yeah.
And I think, arguably without Kelly behind what she does with social media and website development, we all have our strengths.
We
Same way.
happened upon
Yeah.
a really strong team
Yeah.
by accident, almost. Like
Yeah, it's
John,
amazing.
Yeah.
John has been an entrepreneur forever,
Yeah.
and so he knows all the business side of things that need to happen before we can do anything. And Keane's been behind a bar for
God knows
10
how
years
Since he was in
almost.
diapers?
Yeah,
Yes.
and so he knows the day-to-day operations of places.
Serving the other babies their bottles. Like,
I was actually talking to Kelly about this earlier today. Is my mom is she is the Swiss influence and the only person that's fluent. So she's we have so many people from Germany and Switzerland show up here because they'll go straight here.
Yeah.
And they'll just be like, "What's going on?" And sometimes I feel like my mom's using a superpower where she's like, I just can't talk anymore. Where she just is talking to so many people that want to speak in Schweizerdeutsch.
I'm sorry, that sounds like a made-up word. I know it's not, but
Schweizerdeutsch. She knocks it out the park though.
Yeah.
We literally had the soon-to-be ambassador.
The Swiss consulate from California came. I was
Swiss consul from
nervous.
California. It's got some good alliteration.
Yeah,
Yes. I let her say it because I'm like, after a pint of Iger, I'm like,
I mean,
what did
I
I do from
I
that?
just had sangria.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But yeah, we have national attention and we also have international attention, and it's really cool. We got a lot of family still there, and it's really, really, really fun to be able to say, check this out. This isn't a hobby. This is like we're bringing this concept stateside.
Yeah.
And it's working. And I'm super proud of everybody.
All right, so one last question for y'all. If you go back and do one thing differently, what would it be?
That's a great question.
Not shovel snow in 2015.
Like here?
Yeah.
No, just in general. That's
Oh,
my
okay.
She heard it.
It's a personal.
Oh, we talked about this. Yes, okay.
But yeah, no.
Not that we
Business-wise,
didn't shovel enough snow here. I would tell Baby Key that don't change anything.
Yeah. Okay.
Honestly,
That's fair, man. That's totally fair. Like,
I think that's exactly it. I mean, I wouldn't change anything.
Invest in Bitcoin, maybe.
Yeah. I'm over here being all heartfelt. She's over here like money. Maybe. No, I wouldn't change it.
all right.
Yeah.
No, that's good. Stick with your guns. I like that.
I think everything happened the way it needed to happen. And when it didn't go the way we needed to happen, it's our decisions that we've already made that made it happen.
I
So
think
it's-
everything taught us lessons.
Yeah.
The exact lesson we needed to learn, we were taught because of everything that happened and the decisions we made.
I guess
If
stay
I
humble.
change, I couldn't change anything.
I don't see you guys getting too. Maybe Kelly. You gotta watch out for her egomania.
Yeah, I mean,
Kelly, Keane, thank you for joining us in BnL Under Oath. I feel like you all answered your questions with poise, intelligence,
thank you, sir.
and just the right amount of sass from you, if I'm going to be honest. Before I sign off, is there anything you'd like to tell the Beer and Loathing viewers?
Be open to new shit, man. Like, don't discredit something just because you think you know what it is.
Ditto.
There we go.
That's what I.
Easy peasy.
It's
Marry a weirdo.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't settle. Actually, that's what I would say.
There you go.
If you don't like cider, don't settle for it. Find a better one.
Yeah, it's well, I mean, she's all over it. She's taking the words literally out of my mouth.
Just
I don't even need to say anything.
Yeah.
Just take your thoughts when I eat them.
Just continue being the pretty one here.
Yeah, you're so pretty.
Just keep being the pretty one. You're got it.
Been working on the pretty.
All right. Well, since my other camera's dead, I'm Sam Sly. This is it for Beer and Loathing Under Oath. See you on the next one. Popping for apples was cool back in the day when I was a kid, and it's just legalized waterboarding essentially.
I think that was the first time I ever felt anxiety.